see you. Come in. Come in. Austin St. John, y'all. Yes, come visit us. We're upstairs, right next to each other. Yes.
I got one question.
Yes.
What are you going to be so dramatic? I want to see you on the drama.
Did you see Atypical?
No.
I was in Atypical. I wasn't very nice in
I
it.
want to see
And I was in Rebel. Rebel was very dramatic. In that series, my son dies. And so you saw a lot of tearing and crying. Yeah. Thank you. All right, thank you guys.
She's definitely not typical.
Love you, Austin.
Bye, baby.
Bye.
How you guys doing?
Should we scoot down maybe and sit like on the
Sure.
Yeah. Unless you just want to be. That's fine too. Yeah.
Whatever works.
I think this water's for you.
Yeah, I could tell that water was definitely not for me. This
Yeah, that
water.
was what I asked.
It was only this water that was for me. Just checking. Can't have the wrong water.
Don't ever drink another man's water.
Never rub another man's rhubarb.
Yeah.
Batman fans?
No? Okay,
I love that line.
Because we were done. If nobody got that
Yeah, I
joke,
was like,
it was going to be like, Austin, plug your stuff. Bye, thanks.
yeah, I mean, you can't, like, I'm a nerd. Come on. You can't be a nerd and not know Jack Nicholson, never rub another man's rhubarb. And then my other...
You ever dance with the devil in the pale moonlight?
That's right. And if anyone else calls you beast, I'll kill him. I was like, yes.
Hi everybody, welcome to StocktonCon. No, that was bad. I'll make you stand up if you don't do better this time. Hi everybody, welcome to StocktonCon.
Much better.
Way better. My name's Corey.
Threaten people with exercise and see what happens.
Right, yeah, totally. I'm Corey, I'm going to plug my stuff up top. I have a podcast called Unpacked. Look for that wherever you listen to your podcasts, and if you're in Sacramento, listen to me on Mix 96. End of plugs, because this is not about me. This is about the Red Ranger, y'all. The original, give it up. Austin's here.
I totally blew the whole intro by just walking in with Nikki.
You did? I had the whole thing prepared? No, I prepared nothing.
Zordon, come in.
Nothing at all.
I heard it. It was out there.
We're actually running early, so.
Well, that almost
This is
never
good.
happens.
Never happens. We started early because you came in early.
I feel like I should leave.
Wasn't ready. Can I come back in?
Should I leave and come back in?
No.
Yeah, no?
No, because then somebody will put that online and be like, he was so full of himself that he needed to be introduced twice, and then it'll be,
See?
you know I'm not wrong. I'm not wrong.
Hey, listen, I am not afraid. I would come back in and be like, hi, I'm Kimberly.
See, this guy's like, damn it, that's what I was going to do.
I'm Kimberly, the Pink Ranger. I would have totally rolled with that. I bet I could have made that pink suit look good. Don't be angry.
You could have. Okay, so let's obviously talk. Most of the people in this room, maybe not all of you, some of you are pretty young, grew up watching the Power Rangers. I certainly did. And I mean, you were the guy. You were you were the lead ranger, you were the jock, you were the popular guy. It's a lot to live up to.
No, and then after.
Well, yeah, in your mind, of course.
Yeah,
but,
of course.
No,
That's
but
exactly.
Tommy had the ponytail. You know, you never had a ponytail.
No, I never needed one.
Or rebellious.
Yeah.
But anyway, so this is probably the first question you get asked to every panel, but just briefly, just give me your elevator pitch on doing Power Rangers and how that affected your life up until now, because that show ended years ago, a long time ago, and we're still here.
Well, then, I'm coming back next season.
Oh.
You guys heard Hasbro announced, right? I'm back next season. So I can't tell you as who or why. I can just tell you I'm back. So they're gonna draw that out as long as they can. 2020, I'll be back on the show. Kick a butt.
You're somebody's father, aren't you?
I'm my own daddy. So anyway, you should check it out. It'll be a lot of fun. Which movie? Because I wasn't going to stand at the end of the film for 3 seconds holding that camera, looking like a douche.
Oh. Now, is that actually the role they asked you to play?
No.
Hold camera, look like douche?
No, but I bet it was written that way.
Okay.
So, because they got that part down.
So is it just kind of one of those things where it was like, all right, let's just get all the actors in here, and it was just like a place to stick them, and you didn't feel like that?
No, I mean, I never even saw the script. We started talking early before I'm pretty sure before it was even written. And they're like, hey, you know, this is what we're thinking, what would it take to get you back? And I gave them the numbers, and we went back and forth, and I was like, no. Thanks, but no thanks. I have standards.
Standard. So I hope you got your number this time.
Yeah.
Good. Can we give it up for that? Get your number. Know your value. This is important. That is an important lesson.
That's right. I need at least one bag of peanuts.
Right.
Maybe some cotton candy.
Yeah. They weren't even throwing in the M&Ms.
And it better be red.
What is wrong? Is there anything you can't tell us what you're doing, but can you tell us like what the experience has been like? I mean, for years it's been Izzy, and now you're coming back. So, well, I mean, what has that experience been like? Not only the process of that, but also going, oh, crap, I'm actually going to do this time. I'm going to go do it.
Yeah,
Here we go again.
I had like a whole 45 days notice. Like, it wasn't much.
Wow.
So immediately I was like, oh crap, all right, we're back on salads and chicken. And so salads and chicken, and
So the weight loss is the first thing you think of, like, oh.
Yeah, I'm like, ooh, spandex, here we go. You know, like, whoo. So I had like 45 days, and how many of you guys know the keto diet, or you've heard of it? Yeah, so I did that and absolutely crushed it. Cut like 35 pounds in 40 days.
How do you know if someone's on keto?
They're angry.
Don't worry, they'll tell you.
Pretty much. So I did that and cut a bunch, but I still needed to cut like 20 other pounds, and I was like, so I wasn't where I wanted to be. But I was as good as I was going to get in 45 days. And so that was great. I had a lot of fun, but kind of gearing up mentally to come back, it was kind of like riding a bike. I thought, I don't know if I can do this. It's been 18 years. My first return in 18 years. And the second I sat back on set, I was like, oh, I remember this. I'm the Godfather. I'm gonna call you one day for a favor. And you better not screw it up.
Help me zip up my suit.
I can't reach this damn zipper back here. I just went like Jewish, what happened?
I don't know.
Somebody give me some challah in the zipper. Come on.
Who are you kidding? You're not eating carbs. Okay, so we're going to get to all of the Power Ranger questions because we have a ton of time for them. But I want to real quick talk about what you've been doing since, because it's been a while. So take me from Power Rangers ends. Now you got this next stage of your life with some notoriety attached to it. What have you been doing since then?
Oh wow! All right. So quick version. Left the show. Was homeless for a little bit.
Whoa.
Taught martial arts.
Pause. Stop there. You were homeless for a little bit?
It was almost about 6 months.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Share that story.
Well, actually, it was great. And I mean, I'll tell you why. You know, everybody thinks, I mean, there's hardships. You know, I didn't have a lot of money. I was, food was limited. I had my Jeep and I had my dog. I lived out of the back of my Jeep in a dried out riverbed in Arizona. And I loved it.
It's a country song.
It is. I guess I loved it because I went from I was a teenager, literally catapulted into the limelight in 40 countries and 90 languages, and I couldn't go anywhere. Everyone was up my backside one way or another for something. And the second I became homeless, didn't have an address, and could live in a dried out riverbed for a while, I was free. I didn't have cell phone bills, I didn't have any bills. All I had to do was feed my dog and I. So I taught martial arts during the day in Arizona, a place called Foothills Karate Studio. I built his kickboxing program. He taught me Machado-style grappling in exchange, and then I picked up a job bouncing at a nightclub at a real hellhole. It wasn't quite Roadhouse, but it was close.
Did anybody ever go, haha, you're the Red Ranger? Like, did that happen?
They usually didn't laugh. They usually went, holy shit, that's the Red Ranger. Pardon the young ears. And the stupid ones would make me prove it. So I was like, listen, I teach by day, I bounce at night. I mean, if you really want to do this, okay. But so I did that and saved up some money, got myself together, got my GED, picked up 2 college degrees. My first bachelor's was in sports science, health studies. Second one was in emergency medicine. taught martial arts around the world, picked up a job. Well, one of the jobs I was bartending, a buddy of mine came in and says, "Hey man, you're an adrenaline junkie. You should check out the fire department." I thought, yeah, running into burning buildings, that sounds cool, because I'm not normal. And so I went and checked out the fire department. I fell in love with it, and got the fire training, Fire 1, Fire 2, fire officer, all that good stuff. And EMT basic, well, you get first responder, then EMT basic. And then I started seeing these guys that were paramedics, and every time they walked into a room on a scene, everybody just kind of parted like the Red Sea. I was like, did Jesus just enter the room? What happened? And then I realized all the training that went into being a paramedic. These guys were the apex of the field. And somebody looked at me and goes, "How come you're not a paramedic?" And I went, "Good question. I can fix that." So I got my intermediate, got my paramedic, picked up another degree.
So you're all very safe at this panel right now.
That's
If
right.
anybody drops, just raise your hand.
Unless you make me angry. No, I'm kidding, that's the Hulk. It never comes out quite the same. It's just, you know. Something about Lou, he's cool. You seen that boy eat?
Who? Lou?
Lou?
No.
Ferrigno.
Who has? Raise your hand if you've eaten with Lou Ferrigno.
I've seen him.
Oh,
It's breathtaking.
pretty good.
Like, wow. Anyway, so joined the department, got my paramedic, and then I started seeing all these other types. Oh, there's flight medic, there's CCT medic, there's combat medic, there's all this stuff. And I'm a guy, I've got to train in everything. I can't just, if there's training that goes up to here, I have to go to here. I have to. It's part of my DNA.
Gotta be an expert.
I have to. I can't help it. It's not my fault. Don't blame me. My parents, maybe. But so I, at the end of every field, so I got my flight medic. I did CCT, and then I spent 4 years in the Middle East as a medic attached to military operations. And then I retired in 2014, came home from the ME, and now I'm back producing, executive producing, released a video game, Black Salt Corruption. How many gamers? All right, so we now have released the world's only 3D arena martial arts fighting game. We beat out the new Tekken 7, we beat out the new Street Fighter, we won awards at all of the biggest video game conventions in the country. We're launching our big video game competition in Vegas, $500 cash prize, to the first place winner, August 12th. So check out Black Salt Corruption, and it's C-O-R-E, option. Yes, we misspelled it on purpose. Optione. That almost sounds, we're not even going to go there, that sounds. So, moving on, Black Salt Corruption, the world's only 3D arena martial arts fighting game. I've got a character in there with a red dragon tattoo across the chest and down the arm. The weapon I use is the Chinese chain whip, to keep the terminology simple, with a spear tip at the end. So it's a 15-foot chain with a blade at the end. It's pretty wicked. And released the first piece of a jewelry line that I've got. I put the King Ranger, which is the red and gold hybrid ranger in Japanese lores, on Jason's high school graduation ring. You can check. It's actually pretty cool. In fact, I should have brought it. It's at my table if you want to check it out. And
upstairs in the fun zone or fun room,
yeah,
whatever they're calling that.
it's like fighting room. You gotta have a black belt to get through the crowd out there. Any of you guys? Have you noticed that? Or you gotta be wearing a cape, or just be really cute. And
I think that's why people wear the costumes with the big extensions. They just want personal space. That's really all it is.
That's a good idea. Oh God, this guy's too close. Bam! Oh, I'm so sorry.
Was my tail there?
Oh, was that my tail, my wing, or my? Oh, never mind. So yeah, just.
So you've been doing a lot. You've not just taken it easy since Power Rangers. That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
You've done a lot since then.
Yeah.
And now you're back in the entertainment field.
Yeah.
Maybe doing something a little less intense on the body and.
No,
Still pretty intense.
Yeah, I'm getting ready. I was just asked to executive produce a slasher thriller later this summer.
Oh wow!
And then they rewrote it, and they're like, "We want you in the film." I'm like, "Okay." Oh God. Okay. And then I've got a drama. We just did a dramedy, comedy, rom-com, i.e. That's it's called A Walk with Grace. And that was doing great. It's gotten tons of great reviews. We sold it to Vivint. It's a faith-based dramedy, comedy-ish. I don't know what to call it, but it's cool. We had one of the Baldwins in it. We had some guys from CSI Miami.
Wow.
Yeah, we had a pretty awesome cast. So that will be coming out probably, I'm hoping in a few months, maybe before Christmas, I'm sure. And then I did a film with John Schneider. How many of you guys know Dukes of Hazzard? All right. most of you guys are too young to probably have watched it when I was
Watched
watching
the
it.
original.
Yeah, I did too. I was like, anyway, we're not going to talk about age. Except that, well, I was actually 17 when you guys started watching, so I'm not that much older than you. All the other cast members, they're old as hell. But I'm not. I was the baby.
Were you the baby?
I was a baby.
Wow.
Yeah, it was abundantly clear too, wasn't it? Yeah.
I mean, depending on your perspective. All right, let's do this with hands instead of yelling out questions. I think that'll be easier. So raise your hand if you have a fun question for Austin. Let's start. You're up first here. The glasses on your head.
I was wondering, how was you feel about the episode on Forever Red? Was that did it feel weird having all different leaders in different series? Like since you're the original, there's all different ones for leaders too.
He's asking about the Forever Red episode, and your face changed the second you mentioned it.
Yeah. Well, it was one of these things that I was in the fire department. I was on the East Coast, and when I left the show, a lot of people were like, "Oh, he doesn't want to talk about the show. He's ashamed." And that was never it. I loved the show. I never talked about it because I'm in a professional department where I don't want to be a distraction. Do you know what I mean? I'm not here to distract people who are running into burning buildings or cardiac arrests. I don't need them geeking out because the Red Ranger's standing there. Or because the Red Ranger's pushing all the drugs or doing whatever I'm doing. Like, just chill, man. This is a job. So that had been my mindset for a lot of years. I never talked about it. And then they called me up out of the blue. And email or call, I don't remember what came first, but I get on the phone and they're like, "Hey, we're doing an episode and we were wondering if you wanted to come out and film with all of the other Red Rangers." And I'm like, all of? I knew about Tommy, I knew about Rocky. I was like, how many have there been? And they're like, "Well, there's been 11, but there's only going to be 10 in this episode." And I was like, what have you been doing to the Red Rangers? Are you killing these guys off? Is this like Sopranos? What? I was like, this is not, what happened?
That explains the Godfather reference.
Yeah, it was like, I'm gonna come back now. Petting my cat with no hair. You're all dead now. That's what it should have been. Should have had a bald cat, been like a Red Ranger, Godfather, Sopranos cross. That would be horrible. I would love that. I would do it just for the sake of it.
An SNL skit.
Oh yeah, I could have a blast with that. And like make me deaf in one ear and blind in the opposite eye, with like a bum leg. Back when I was fighting Rita, wait, where'd you go? I hear you over here, but where'd you go? I can't see you. What are you talking about? You didn't know I was Jewish?
Still when I'm listening to you.
I'm the Jewish Godfather. Don't make me smack you with a holla. Anyway, so yeah, all right. So moving on. Things you didn't know.
Right. Next question. I think I saw a hand in the back, blue shirt back there.
So it was a lot of fun.
Or voiceover, who would it be?
Ooh. There's so many.
This thinking break brought to you by bottled water.
Ding, 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 ding. I couldn't just pick one. I can't, sorry. So I would have to do like a Marvel, do a DC, and then I would just have to make one up. Because I don't want to do somebody else's when I can make my own and even make it better, damn it. So, and hey, for the record, did you guys ever pay attention to the fact that Thor and, I was going to call him Rocket Man, not Rocket Man, Iron Man, they both wear red and gold? I'm just saying. So anyway, all right, so I would have a blast doing Thor. Like, I would love that. I'd spend a year back at the gym crushing it just to come back and have fun with that. Although Iron Man I like too. Deadpool I love.
You could just, you don't have to. You could go the other direction and be Fat Thor.
That would be fun too.
Way easier too.
Yeah. Yep, I'm training now. Pass the icing. I don't need the cake, just the icing. And where's my beer? Somebody bring me something special. Yeah.
Then you can play that video game.
That would be awesome. I could do that. All right. So I would do that, and then like Deadpool. Deadpool is a great like I just love his.
You've got a little Deadpool in you. I can
tell. I'm telling you.
You're keeping it real clean for the room. I can tell.
Oh, I'm a Catholic firefighter. Come on. And I bartended through 2 college degrees. Let me tell you, we do the after dark version of this. You better bring a bottle and be okay.
Hotel bar.
Yeah, I'll be there in a few hours. So and I'll start breaking out other accents.
All right, next question, right here. I'm
I'm good.
I have a question. So I'm currently on 2 degrees for college. I'm wondering, since you are qualified, what advice do you have for me? Because I'm doing nursing and criminal justice. What advice do you have for me?
Getting into the medical field advice. What were your 2 degrees that you're going for?
Nursing and criminal justice.
Nursing and criminal justice. So what's your advice for someone that's trying to get into the medical field? And don't say don't. He seems like a really nice guy.
I'm just wondering about the 2 degrees. Like, criminal justice is a long way from nursing. What happened there?
So the reason I did criminal justice, my friend got shot 2 years ago.
Oh wow.
Gotcha.
So,
Okay.
With that, he was very positive, so therefore I wanted to do the book criminal justice. It's a lot of fun and I want to help veterans rather than just doing nursing because I feel like
Y'all give this guy a round of applause, please.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
That's cool.
So his friend was shot, and that kind of. So now I understand the criminal justice and the nursing side. So you guys
I
can.
always want to help people for nursing.
Compassion is a huge part of the medical field, and a lot of people don't understand. They think because you want to go into medicine, you know, first thing they think of is money. Let me tell you, being a paramedic firefighter, you are not making money. And that's if you're single and you make it paramedic, maybe you get some rank under your belt, lieutenant, sergeant, maybe even captain, division chief. You can make some decent money. If you're not married, don't have kids, and aren't supporting anybody, then maybe you have money. But it's not a lot. So what would I say? I mean, I taught at George Washington Medical University. I was credentialed through them for 4 years. And I taught all the ACLS, PALS, PEPs, ITLS, PHTLS, LMNOP, all that crap. And what that is, basically, these are certs that all doctors, nurses, paramedics all have to recert on every year to 2 years. Most of them are 2 years.
Thank you. We were all really confused for a second.
Yeah, that's a whole lot of letters and jargon.
We'll just wait.
I guess my advice would be if you're gonna get into medicine, don't be the nurse or the doctor that's got to open out your flip chart or your flip book for cardiac arrest, or for PALS, or for whatever it is you're responsible for. You have to recert every 2 years. If you go in to recert on ACLS or ACLS EP or any of these advanced courses you need to have, I used to fail people left and right. I know my stuff. To this day, I've been retired 8 years, and I could run you through ACLS protocol, stone cold. Current protocols, because I still study it. The reason for that is you don't ever want to be the guy who has somebody die on your watch for something that you could have spent a little more time studying. And you're gonna end up around the lazy nurses and docs who don't have their crap memorized, who aren't ready, and who break down. And you could be the one that pulls it together for everybody, ultimately the patient and maybe their family. So don't go home with that dirty one on your conscience if you could have just studied a little harder and been the ace in the hole.
And you obviously have the passion going for you, so thank you. Next question. First hand up was right there.
I have a question about.
Oh, yeah. Both of you are, yeah. So somebody go first.
Really quick, I know when you were brought back in season 4 during the Zio era. I noticed you came back for like 6 episodes, I think. I was kind of curious.
17.
17? Oh.
Give or take.
The first part of my question is, my understanding is you parted on less than ideal terms with.
Oh yeah, I sued him and told him he could go screw himself.
Okay, so was that difficult coming back, or did things kind of have to amend?
So he wants to know, was it difficult coming back after I sued the company and left to win my freedom? No, because I came back on my terms and I got the respect that I deserved because I'd drawn a line in the sand and they understood what they need to do to get me back. And I came back on my own terms.
Yeah, no, please, that's great. Next question. The guy right behind him here was next, and then I got you over here. Yeah, that's you.
I like that. You're like, that was like breakdancing.
There's a stage here. Go ahead. No, you don't. I'm just kidding.
I was all for it. I was like, come get it. Let's go.
Get some music, breakdancing.
So my question is, what was it like doing your Q&A panel with Utah, Mozuki, the guy who played Terminator from Shooting?
Yuto is pretty incredible. Every time I meet him, the entire Sentai cast, these guys are awesome. It was kind of funny. So we were doing this first Forever Red panel. I think it was in 14, so, I don't know, it was a while ago.
15 years ago.
And we were in this, oh no, not that far back. I mean, like 2 or 4 years ago when we were at Power Morphicon. And we had a room, it was easily 15 times this size. And it was, I mean, there wasn't even standing room. It was jam-packed. And we had all the Red Rangers, including Yuta. It was his first panel with us. And we came out and everybody wanted to see Yuta and I do It's Morphin' Time. So Yuta lines up and he's got his morpher and he does It's Morphin' Time and the coin falls out. So, well, typical Americans, we're all like, what? That was, would you see that? He screwed it up. Well, that's not cool if you like have honor. It's about saving face, right? So everybody's rolling. I was like, oh, hell. All right. So real quick, I was like, all right, I'm up. And everybody kind of quieted down and I came over and then I broke out my coin. But what I didn't tell him or the crowd was that I had loosened my coin on purpose in my morpher so that when I morphed, mine fell out. And I did it to help him save face. So I went up, did It's Morphin' Time, and my coin fell out. And then everybody was laughing at me, and it helped recover him. And little things like that, culturally, that you need to understand. But I do have a funny story for you.
Well, did he notice? Did he know that you did that?
I never told him. So I mean, he may see this panel or one other where I talked about it, but it's fine. You know what I mean? We're all good because it worked when it had to.
Yeah.
So that same show, we went out to have beer, and we had his translator because his English was far better than my Japanese. Because my Japanese is Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. That's what I've got. You know what I mean? Like that's it. And so we went out, we had beer, and we're talking, and we have this whole alpha stunt team. These guys are insane. They defy gravity. They go up in the air and they hang there for that extra 3 seconds, just long enough. You're like, is that magic? Are there wires? You know, how does that work? But it's cool. So he was doing his thing. We're having a great time with it. Things are blowing up. And as he's talking to his translator, I said, you know, I have a question for you. Everybody calls me the original Red Ranger, but I know better. You're the OG. I'm number 2. Now, outside of Japan, I'm number 1 in the world. But he started it. And I have to pay him that respect. I said, so I want to know what number Red Ranger am I really? And the translator translates, and he leans over to the guys, and the guys, they start chuckling. And I'm like, oh, this is going to be good. And he leans back over, and he goes, number 26. I was like, okay, so let's put this in terms for you. You're watching a race, Indy 500, a marathon. Like, you watch number 1 go by. You're like, I won. Maybe number 2 you watch by, maybe number 3. And then after that, it's just, you're already off cooking dinner. So by the time number 26 crosses the finish line, you like already went to bed, had a nap, you know, like, nobody's paying attention. You change channels. Like,
why was that number? Is it just because of different like stunt doubles and people that have worn the costume, or was it people that have actually played the role?
So all of the Japanese seasons after him had Red Rangers before it ever got to America.
Gotcha.
So there was 26 iterations because it's been around since the 70s.
Jeez.
So it was like, what's that?
Actually, Super Sentai started in 1975. Started with Go Ranger all the way to Jew Ranger. So that's
I rest my case.
15 years.
That guy knows.
See? All right. There's always one guy that knows.
He knows things. We have time for one final question. So, Austin, I'm going to let you pick. Hands up. Austin, you're picking. Just because I don't want the pressure. I want you to have
Okay, all right.
Takes it the whole time.
I'm looking this way, but I see this guy over here. I see that guy over there.
This is killing my ADD right now. There's just like too much going on.
Wait.
Squirrel.
Okay, who's not wearing underwear? Really? Nobody? I'm not. No, I'm kidding. Okay. Who's a virgin?
Wow.
Superman? You're a virgin? You're Superman.
No, he just wants to ask a lot of questions.
All right.
Smart.
Here's your question, bud. Oh.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, what was, like, initially, way back in the day, how did you end up getting cast as the Red Ranger? What was that process?
Well, initially, I showed up and I was auditioning for William Wallace. I was going to be a Scottish warrior. We're going to have a battle.
Yeah, would have been great.
Would have been
You would have been
great.
great.
and there would have been one goat. But we'll talk about that later. After dark.
Over a pint of
Over
roasted
a
ale.
beer. That's great. And don't bring me any of that cold crap. Bring me a good beer. Let's get some
Warm and chewy.
chewy like a steak. You want that to sit in your stomach and feel it for a week. Anyway, sidebar. So, it was pretty awesome. Initially, there was a cattle call. They advertised in the newspaper for a show called Phantoms. And somebody bet me $20 I wouldn't be wasting my time if I went to this audition, because I wasn't an actor. Don't like typically huge crowds because I wasn't comfortable around them, and definitely wasn't fond of cameras. And I'm still not fond of cameras, but now I know how to work with them. And so I went to the show, lost 20 bucks. The show went from Phantoms to Dino Rangers to Power Rangers. My character went from, do you guys know what my character's original name was? Oh man, so this is going to be like a whole nother accent.
You don't know? I'm just kidding.
The guy who knows things you don't know?
He's the guy that knows stuff.
I do.
All right,
I've
sorry.
heard it, but I'm trying to remember.
He knows all the things, but not that thing.
I'm stunned, all right. So, my character's name originally was Victor. How stupid. It would have been like, as Power Rangers turns, the new World Series. Sounds like a soap opera. Like, hi, Kimberly, you're looking tasty
I
today.
feel like if you were Victor, you'd have gotten slapped a lot.
Or I could have been the total perv Victor, like, Kim, hey baby, I need to pee for my ball. Anyway, you know, I mean, I could have gone the whole other route. I just, you know, you shouldn't give me a microphone in a crowd. It's never good.
Well, the good news is you walked right up to the end of it. So,
I did.
is everybody happy? Did you guys have fun with Austin?
All right, guys, good to meet you.
Thank you. Go upstairs and say hi. Get your photo
You want to
taken.
come by the table and I'll answer your question, big guy, since we lost you.
He won't forget. That hair is awesome.
I love the hair.
Me too. Thanks, guys. Have fun at StocktonCon. That was fun, dude. Thanks, brother. Oh, and then I wanted to give you that. That's me. Oh, sweet. My podcast. I'll probably use this interview as bonus content.
Yeah, absolutely. Tag me.
Thanks, man. See you soon.